Now, the Navajo ritual that I'm going to present is one that was used in the last World War, the Second World War, when the young men in the Navajo reservation were being inducted into the American Army. The Navajo were a warrior people in the first place. They had come down from the far north, from the northwest Canada, actually, in the 11th and 12th centuries, and had settled in the world of the Pueblo Indians of New Mexico and Arizona. And they took over from the Pueblo a great many of the ritual and mythological motifs of that planting culture. They adapted the taken over themes to their own mode of life. In the Pueblo world, the rituals were carried on in relation to the kivas, or priest societies, whereas the Navajo, as primarily a nomadic people, had no such societies. The material was carried on in the teachings and singing of specific medicine men, or singers, as they're called, and so they had a more individualistic accent. And this adaptation is something that goes on in all mythological traditions, where a relatively primitive people comes into a high culture area, takes over the material, and adjusts it to its own way of thinking and life. This is a beautiful ritual. An old medicine man named Jeff King, he was about 90 years old at the time, pulled it out of his memory box, you might say. After the Navajo had been placed on the reservation, they were no longer permitted to wage war. And most of the rituals then had been adjusted to the problem of psychological healing. That's the main emphasis in the Navajo sand painting ceremonies, curing and putting people back, you might say, in their psychological center. However, now, here comes war again, and the old ritual is reapplied to warcraft.